Welcome to the Alpha Warrior Show. We're excited to share diverse perspectives and expert insights with you. Please note that the views and information expressed by our guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the Alpha Warrior Show, its management, or our partners. Each of our affiliates and sponsors and partnerships is a separate entity, and their opinions are their own. Today's content is provided for information and educational purposes and should not be taken as specific advice, whether it be financial, medical, or legal. While we strive to present accurate and useful information, we cannot guarantee its completeness or relevance to your specific situation. We provide all information as is and encourage you to consult with a professional advisor to address your specific individual needs. Your use of any information from this broadcast is entirely at your own risk. By listening further, you agree to identify and protect the Alpha Warrior Show and its associates from any claims or damages arising from your use of this broadcast content. Changes to this disclaimer may be made at any time and will be done effectively immediately upon posting or broadcasting. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you find the episode both informative and thought-provoking. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the next generation of warfare, psychological warfare. In modern conflict, the mind is a potent weapon. Discover General Michael T. Flynn's groundbreaking guide, The Citizen's Guide to Fifth Generation Warfare. Unlock tactics, strategies, and the mindset to navigate this cognitive battlefield that we all find ourselves in. Equip yourself against manipulation and emerge unscathed. Unleash your potential. Order now.
Are you smiling? Because I'm smiling. Today was a good day. Today was one of those days where I think I really got to take in all the joy that was meant for this day. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Even though we're remembering the fallen, I hope you took that time to enjoy life and what life represents. Those that laid down their life didn't lay their life down because they wanted us wiping tears and being sad. They laid down their life so that this country could be free. And as much as they're trying to attack that freedom, we still got it. You guys, welcome to the Alpha Warrior Show. I am your host, Alpha. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling real good today. Part of the reason I'm feeling good today is the content of what you guys are going to see here in the next hour. A lot has happened, in the last few years, certain bioweapons and things like that, things that people were forced to take to keep their jobs, stay in schools, etc. But not just those things. Diabetes, high blood pressure, strokes, dementia. I mean, there's just a lot people are living with. And I read the stories, so I'm well aware of the things that you guys live with. Why I didn't know about the guest that I have on tonight, Years ago, it doesn't blow my mind. I know why. Because people that have this kind of information and can change people's lives, of course, big pharma and the powers that be are going to make sure we don't learn about them. But thank goodness for the people that I've been able to network in this industry that were able to make this connection. Things that were shared with me offline. And I was like, get me in contact with those people. I need to put them in front of my audience. You guys, what you're going to hear, obviously, you saw the disclaimer at the beginning of this. I'm not a doctor. The people that are going to be coming on are not doctors. We can't guarantee people are going to be healed and things like that. You get where that comes from. And I think you guys understand it. You're smart people. But what I will say, when you hear and you research the testimonies to my guests, and the company that they have is Pet Club 24/7. Some of you are not going to be able to wait till the end of the show. You're like, I need to go in there and start ordering some stuff right now, especially when you see how cheap everything is. Link, you'll see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's already down in the description. It is alphawarriorshow.petclub247.com. Like I said, you'll see it in just a moment across the bottom of your screen, and the link is already in the description. This is a show that needs to get shared with everybody. My mind can't even comprehend the stories that have been shared with me. And in a few weeks, we're going to have a guest that comes on here that's going to share their independent story in a fight against cancer. And it will rock your socks. But I just couldn't wait till then to bring this. So, you guys, without further ado, let's pay some bills. Let's keep the lights on, and let's get to our first sponsor. I'm talking about my partners at Goldco. Be prepared. It's easy. It's fast. Rich are buying gold. AlphaLikesGold.com. You guys have heard the concerns around a banking wipeout, criminal tax hikes, hyperinflation, a full-blown recession that everybody wants to deny. It's all part of the grand plan, you guys. The billions of dollars Biden keeps sending to that corrupt Ukraine, the trillions in new taxes he wants to shove down your throat, the electronic banking system crash, resetting everybody to freaking zero, checking accounts, saving accounts, 401ks, IRAs, all of it, zero. But you don't have to be a victim, you guys. Protect your money and get up to $10,000 worth in free silver to do it when you call my partners at Goldco. AlphaLikesGold.com. That link is also down in the description. Goldco's help protect over $2 billion in gold and silver for people like you and me. And right now they are offering up to $10,000 in bonus silver, when opening a qualified IRA account just for being a supporter of this podcast. So whether you want to protect 50 grand, $500,000 or more, this is your opportunity to protect yourself from our out of control, very corrupt government. AlphaLikesGold.com. And then our last commercial, and we're commercial free, you guys. Enjoy the show. You're going to love this one. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale. And here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
All right, you guys. So remember America's favorite mustache, My Pillow or my store. Alpha works at both of those. And you guys, the rich are buying gold, the rich are buying metals. So AlphaLikesGold.com. At the very least, get the information to protect the money that you work for your entire life. Now, without further commercial interruption, let me bring on the people. This is going to be a good one. You really want to hear from tonight. Kurt, Cristin, how you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
Amazing.
I'm good. It's it's one of those things where you're busy, but busy's good. You know, when it and you guys know when it's your own thing, busy is good.
Mhm.
So we have a mutual friend, Josh, that connected us. He's like the walking human encyclopedia,
So it
and
is.
he's like, dude, because we're talking about some things that people were dealing with from things that they were forced to get, and
Mhm.
he's like, man, have you heard of this? And he tells me about Pet Club 24/7. I'm like, no, what the heck are you talking about? And so he goes off, and I'm like, bro, connect me. Like, like you had you had me at hello, Josh. You had me at hello. Like, connect me, and he has, and we finally got the schedules matched up so where we can pull this off. So Kurt and Cristin, please let my audience know about the life-changing information that they're about to hear. What are we talking about when we talk about Pet Club 24/7?
Sounds good, Alpha. Well, hey, first of all, thank you for bringing us on.
Yeah.
We love what you're doing, what you're about. That's everything that we're about as a company is the direction we are at. But
All about freedom.
yeah.
Mhm.
So to give you just a little bit of background on the company, where it started, so that everyone understands, is almost over 25 years ago, one of our partners in the company, his mother was experiencing a major issue. She was attending Sloan Kettering out in New York, and that issue really worsened. She tried everything, or they tried everything they could do to help her. Unfortunately, they gave her months to live. Her son started reaching out to all the family members to let them know what's going on. And one of his family members in Japan reached back and said, look, I want to send you something over, have her take this, and let's just see if maybe it'll help her out. And so he did. He sent it over to him. She starts, ingesting it. And after about 30 days, noticed just a huge difference in the way she was feeling. Another 30 days goes by, more improvement. And then after about 3 months, she's just feeling like there's no issues whatsoever in what she was dealing with. And so she goes back to Sloan Kettering, and they find that issue to be gone, no longer there. And of course, they were flabbergasted by, what they experienced. They wanted all the information about it. She was able to obtain that from her nephew, who controlled this mushroom, which is the most potent strain of this mushroom you can get your hands on, of the 200 strains that are out there. And they have a proprietary way they extract it. And so Sloan Kettering started the first study on this mushroom here in the United States. And from there, it's gone to Loma Linda, Harvard, MD Anderson, the American Cancer Society, you name it, have studied this. And what they concluded and found is it's immune support. And if you can get your immune system functioning properly, it's the most effective way to combat any type of illness, from the smallest of things to, the most concerning of things. And it can fix that. And that's exactly what keeps all of us healthy. And when that gets compromised by the things we put in our body, by the things we breathe, eat, all the things we're doing, that's when the inflammation, those issues start to occur. And so that's what this did. And so after he experienced that, he couldn't quit telling people about it. And it didn't matter what they were dealing with. He would tell them about it, and they would order it, and it'd take 2 to 3 weeks to get over here. And people would report back just amazing things. And again, it's very important that everybody understands that it's immune support. This is not, a cure for anything. We can't say that it does this or that, because it doesn't. But the immune system knows how to go do it and how to fix it. And so if you can get the immune functioning the right way, then again, anything can happen. So after a couple of years of that, they're like, listen, what can we do to be able to control this, to get it over here so that we can get it, out to people quicker? Mm-hmm. And so that happened. They formed an agreement in which they could bring this strain here, and they controlled that for all these years. And then 6 years ago, they had reached out to us. They said, hey, look, and I've known one of these individuals for over 12 years, trusted him. They're like-minded, same path, very important, called and said, hey, look, we've got a product that we've controlled here in the US for years. It just does amazing things for people and their immune systems. And I had just lost my dog to cancer. 2 of my partners lost their dog to cancer. And one of our 2 of our children at the same time within 2 months. And so we have a product we're sitting on. We're just amazed by it. We actually found a study that was done by Penn State University proclaiming that if you could get your dogs on this with the issue that we just spoke about, then they were living much longer. Very incredible, right? And he goes, so we're like, wow, we've got the most potent strain. We're sitting here with this. This is amazing. And they started getting it out to different people they knew with pets. And that's why they called us. We had pets. They're younger. They're healthy. He goes, look, this just isn't for, pets that are dealing with an issue. This is to keep them healthy. Yeah. And so he goes, get them on it. And he goes, look, if you know anyone that has any other pets, share it with them. So, we want as many people telling us, what it's doing for them. So we get it 3 days after we receive it. I see on social media, one of my good friends posts on there, I have to put my best friend down, the dog that chose me over my wife. And so I reached out to him. I said, hey, what's going on with your dog? And he goes, well, she's had this autoimmune issue for over 5 years now. He goes, her paw pads would now have gotten to the point just the last year, she steps on cement or asphalt, the paw pads peel off. He goes, got so worse in the last year. Now she's laying in the corner of our kitchen. Her hair's coming out in clumps. Her eyes are whited over. He said she's got 7 tumors down her side. And he goes, the vet doesn't know if, they're cancerous at all, but he believes that they could be. And he said 2 are the size of a baseball. And he goes, Kurt, it's just time. She's 14 years old. She's a husky. And they usually live to be 12. So we've had her another 2 years. And I said, well, is she using the restroom? And he goes, she is. Or I said, is she eating? And he goes, she is, but we have to carry her outside to use a restroom. And I said, well, listen, I learned about something. Are you maybe interested in just giving it to her before you make that decision? He goes, we'll do anything right now. So we take it over. We drop it off to him. 4 days later, Alpha, here's a call I get. I see his
By the
calling.
way, they bake it into little treats for the dogs.
Yeah.
They're called the mush puppies. So they're just giving her these cookies, right? She knows no different.
Yeah. So 4 days later, I see him calling, and it was crazy because I answer the phone and I'm like, hey, Kurt, his name's Kurt as well. I'm like, hey, Kurt, everything okay? And he goes, what did you give my dog? And I was like, oh man, I said, is everything all right? And he's like, she just jumped on the couch next to us. And I said, that's amazing. And he goes, yeah, you don't understand. She hasn't done this in over 1.5 years. He goes, you think it could be this treat, this mushroom you brought over? And I said, to be frank with you, I couldn't answer you honestly right now because you're the first person we experienced that had a dog that's ill like that. I heard a lot of great things and I trust the person that told me. And he goes, well, it has to be. There's nothing else it could be. And so every day as they kept continuing to give it to her, she improved. And she's now going out on the bathroom on her own after about 30 days with her. Same thing. The paw pads aren't peeling off. The hair's not coming out in clumps. The eyes, the crystallization in the eyes is gone. And after between 4 to 6 months, all those tumors that she was dealing with were all gone. Even the 2 that were the size of the baseball. And so she lived to be almost 20 years old. She just passed away just about 1 year ago. Mm-hmm. And she was almost 20. Her way of life after that was better than the previous 5 years. They were taking her on hikes. They were, 5-mile hikes. They were taking her out swimming in the lake again. And in that neighborhood that they would walk her in every day, there was another husky that they would walk her with. And he was a healthy husky, but they shared the story of what happened with Zenta. And so he bought our product for his dog. And that husky lived to be 22 years old on our product. It's been amazing, the experiences that we've been able to see. And so at that same time, my brother has a little dog they call Batman. And it was a little dachshund, and they'd have to carry him up the stairs at night. He couldn't jump in his favorite chair anymore, things like that. He was just getting old. And so we sent some to him, and he calls me 10 days later and he goes, Kurt, he goes, Batman's running down the stairs. He's jumping in his favorite chair again. He goes, we're blown away. This is amazing. And so, at that point we were like, with these things happening, we were like, hey, we have to be a part of what's happening here. It's amazing what's going on. And so that's the story of how it became what it is today. And then Alpha, for years, as we're getting this out to people and their pets, people are saying, well, we don't, our pets don't know what a placebo effect is. It's amazing the differences we're seeing. The health, they're healthier, they're you can just see they're feeling better, their coats are shinier, the energy levels are there. And they would call us and say, hey, how can we get this for us? Because we know this has to work. Is it for people? And we said, well, actually that's where it began. And it shifted to this.
Yeah,
and
we always joke that it was tested on humans
Yeah.
before we found out it was okay for animals.
And so, that's where we've evolved. We eventually decided, hey, we need to provide it for people on the site. We have a small section for that as well, because, it just, I feel 10 years younger on it. I have so much more energy. I sleep better, and I've been fortunate to be healthy, but just for healthy people, it's amazing. It's just incredible. So,
there's so much to that.
Yeah.
One, especially for the people out there that, they can't have kids, so their pets become their kids, and I mean, just the potential, I guess even the hope that you can improve their way of life and also the longevity of their life. That I was I don't know if you guys know, or if Josh told you, but I was a canine handler for Canine with Explosives. So I love dogs, absolutely love dogs, especially our labs. And now I just, her name was Una, and she always had this ear issue, and it didn't matter, what antibiotics, it didn't matter how often we wanted to clean it. Of course, she was a pull jumper, but even when you would immediately dry it, clean her ears, like she just had this one ear that always had this issue. And it's just one of those things that you just learn how to kind of mitigate it and minimize, but it just, there's a part where it kind of gets stinky sometimes, and you feel terrible always having to put like, these liquids and alcohol, whatever the case may be. So it's like, man, I wonder if something like this, but if this, this change, something like that for her, hearing these testimonies. But the other thing that's interesting, when Josh first told me about this with you guys, we have been propagandized for doubt. Like doubts what always hits us. And I have a lot of friends that talk about mushrooms in a lot of different ways. And I was a square growing up. I was like the jock nerd, right? So like I never went to anywhere in no man's land.
Right.
But I remember from a very young age, one of the things, and I even went online and you could find children's books. Mushrooms are always painted in this negative, poisonous light. And so you get this, and we don't realize it, but you get this seeding of thought that's in your head that all of a sudden the second year, I mean, it was to the point where I was afraid to do mushrooms on pizza. Everybody, like it was that. Then I was just like, this has to be crazy. The grocery store selling it. People are, let me try this. And I was like, man, this stuff's so good, many, many years ago. But I say that for people because I know there's people in the audience that are like, come on, man. Like you're telling me something this simple can have that kind of effect. And the other unfortunate thing, and obviously this doesn't label the entire industry, but there's a large part of the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industrial complex that wants to maintain control. There's the monetary gain that's behind this. And the one thing that has probably been the most promising in this last 3 years is that I've had the luckiness to meet people like you, to meet holistic doctors, to meet all these people that are like, because I'll tell you one thing, when I started this, I knew I wanted to bring the truth to people. I knew I wanted to bring different perspectives to people. I did not realize, and I'm sure you guys get this, I did not realize how much information and context, DMs, emails were going to come in with people that are living with things or someone they love is living with things. And they're just like, Alpha, can you talk to Dr. So-and-so? Can you talk to Dr. Jones? And I'm talking so many coming in, and it's almost like I got to triage these people's stories. But yet every single one of those stories is important. Like I can hear people's anxiety and desperation in the words they're typing out in an email. And it's heartbreaking because, I can't take, 200 emails to one of my doctor friends. It's just, they're still trying to do what they do. And what I have told people is follow this person, like with you guys, we're going to talk, I'm going to bring up the website so we can show them. Go to these websites. There's so many things out there for you that are, one, easy to get, very affordable. And if you look at the testimonies, they're life changing for people. And I'll land it here and give it back to you guys. You know, this one particular nurse, we call her Nurse Carol, Apothecary, if that doesn't kind of tell you what, you know, how she rocks, right?
Yeah, I love that.
And she's just like, you know, people are taking this for their kidneys when they can change their diet and do these kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
People are taking this for this when they can do this. And you hear people doing it. And this is not something that takes years to see results. You see within a matter of a few weeks and a few months, like everything changes. And I'm just like, for something you can go buy for a couple bucks, like what? And I want people just to, we've been programmed a certain way to think that unless it's super expensive and unless it's somebody that's in a white lab coat, you know, with a stethoscope around your neck telling you got to take this, that it just doesn't work. And the unfortunate thing is that a lot of things that they're prescribing people, not to cure them even, just to make them live with something, create side effects that then you got to go get medication for that. And it's just, it's horrible. I'll give it back to you guys. You know, how does that kind of resonate with you guys? And did you guys see an outpouring of people that are like, you know, well, what do you suggest for this? And what about this? Like, what's life been for you guys, you know, in terms of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think part of the problem is that we're not ever taught how powerful the immune system is, and we're not taught what it's fully equipped to do. And so just like you said, we're conditioned to treat symptoms and conditions and, you know, mitigate the flare-ups and all of these different types of things. But what we don't understand is I did not have this thing and now I have this thing. So something somewhere inside of the body changed, whether it was chemically, hormonally, environmentally, maybe if there's some type of trauma, that was a catalyst for it, but something changed. So like I didn't have high blood pressure, now I have high blood pressure. And we're taught, oh, you have high blood pressure, take this. Oh, your blood sugar levels are off, take that. You have a fever, take this. You have this contagion. You know, we have medicine cabinets full of stuff for all of these situations. When in fact, the immune system was intelligently designed and fully equipped to not only handle the symptoms, but to actually go to the root, go to the cause of whatever's creating the symptoms in the first place. The immune system is your pet's best veterinarian. It's our best doctor. It knows exactly what's wrong in the body. It knows exactly what to do to fix it, but it's so compromised. And we're bombarded by all these toxins and chemicals and all this artificial stuff that for our pets and ourselves, our bodies were not designed to process all these artificial things that are being introduced into it. And that's what creates all the problems. It's like we don't know what to do with this chemical or that chemical. So it's just trying to eliminate it, or this metal gets into the body and it's trying to get it out and it wreaks havoc. And so when we actually give our immune system the support that it deserves, it's so funny that all of these different things, you know, hormones get regulated, blood pressure, blood sugar levels regulated. The body can fight back against the infections, the viruses, parasites, worms, like all of these things that get introduced into the body can actually handle. As a matter of fact, even with the tumors we've seen on animals, the body can do its own surgery, where if the tumor is really big, it will actually push it out of the body and heal it up. It's unbelievable. But again, we go to the doctor and they tell us what our cholesterol level is. They tell us what our blood pressure level is, but they don't tell us what our immune marker is, which is a measurable thing. And that's because there's not a lot of money in it for them to keep the immune system strong. That's how they make their money. But on top of that, there are over 400 published studies on the mushroom that we put into treats for dogs, cats, horses. We even have capsules for people. There are over 400 published studies done over 3 decades. And the science is irrefutable. The results are irrefutable. So I always ask the question, why have none of us heard of this? Hundreds of published studies, 30 years of research. That's unbelievable, the results that they're finding, the efficacy of this mushroom. How come none of us know about it? And it's because they can't patent a mushroom. Like you said, it grows abundantly out in nature. It's available for animals and people everywhere. So they can't make money off of it. So what they do is they try to study it and recreate it in their labs and try to patent that, right? So it's really cool what we're finding. People are asking us, will it help with this condition, whether it's for their pets or themselves? Will it help with this symptom or that symptom? And the truth is, like we said, it's not a cure. It's not a medicine. It has no intended outcome other than to support the immune system. It's just a whole food that we put into our body, and it feeds our immune system. And then our immune system can function optimally and go do the work that it was designed to do. So all across the spectrum of different things people are experiencing, we're finding incredible results. With the animals, it happens relatively quickly. Like we're noticing with about a week or so, positive results. With people, we're noticing within at least 30 days, I have more energy. I feel younger. I'm sleeping better. All of these different types of things. And then for the more serious concerns, we're finding within just a few months, a lot of this relief. And, people have been dealing with a lot of these issues for 20, 30, 40 years. That it's been wreaking havoc in their bodies. And so it's so inspiring, and it's so encouraging to know, like you were saying earlier, if we just eat this food and give our immune system the strength to do what it was designed to do, then that gives us hope. And we always say to keep power, they have to keep the prisoners too weak to climb the prison walls, right? And so with us, they just bring us to the brink where we're completely dependent on a system. With animals are replaceable, because what do we do when we lose a pet? And it breaks our hearts. We get another pet. So 30 years ago, the average golden retriever was 17 years old before it passed. Today it's 9. So they're living half as long as they used to. So there's just this whole system. There's this whole program that was not for our benefit. It was not designed in our favor to work for our good. And we have to educate ourselves and become aware and do what you're doing, which is find the truth, right? Look for the truths that are out there and grab onto them and make them accessible for people so that they can really step into their calling and pursue their purpose. Because when you don't feel well, you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do anything significant. If you're in pain, you're irritable, you're depressed, you have anxiety, all of these different things. So if we can help free people and animals from those different types of feelings, then that's a way that we can positively impact the world, and people can go out and do what they're called to do.
Absolutely. And one of the things you said in there, because my life and career, the vast majority of it's been in service and was in law enforcement, and a detective and an investigator. And so what we look for pattern recognition. And just one of the things you said that just kind of like, was a punch in the gut is, there's a quicker turnaround that you see with animals than with humans. And there's a lot of variables that come into play with that. But just the idea of, we know kind of the chemicals that are even in the best food that we treat our pets, especially like us, in the industry, we have to give them high performance food because they work so much. But even when I would look in the ingredients in there, I was like, God, why are they putting this in dog food?
Yep.
Well, and if they can eat that and still have a quick turnaround, because gut health is so important to us, then imagine what's in the foods that we're eating that's making it take longer for us to see results. It's just the little things that are life-changing, and I don't know if you guys knew about this. I knew I had learned about iodine salt being really bad. And so I was just like, so I started looking at it, didn't really have a lot of direction to go other than this is bad. Don't use that. And it's like, okay, well, what do I do? I still want a little flavor in my food. So then I was just like, Himalayan salt, and started learning. So I was like, and then a few months ago, I learned about Celtic salt. And I was like, what the heck? And all the minerals in that. And, it's even moist when it comes. And it's just like this life-changing stuff. Like you said, Cristin, why have we not heard about it? Even to the point where, I feel I live a pretty healthy lifestyle. But when I used to buy the little ginger shots that you can get from the stores, these things are like $5 a pop. But I liked the way I felt when I took them. And then I was just like, let me just, do a little investment, get myself a presser, cold press, and do this myself. Because, you don't know what other entities are doing. And then when I did that, you get into these blogs and these groups and you learn, what kind of fruits to buy or what kind of vegetables to buy, what to leave the skin on, after you clean it. And it was a game changer. The brain fog. And, I think I'm pretty, not the sharpest tool in the tool shed, but, I can get a job done. And just when I noticed just changing on what fruits and vegetables I use, the clarity that I had, in the mental, fog. And so I'm so excited. So your guys' package for me has come in. And, at the end of the show, after I break to my commercials, I'll be showing it to everybody. So, but everybody knows I ain't just talking about it. I bought it. Like, I also am in on this. I want to transition real quick as we wrap things up here. What are some of the things that you have heard that have even made you guys go, no way? Like, what? If you don't mind sharing a story like that with us. And then after that, I'll bring up the website and we'll call this part of the show a night.
Yeah. Before you share one of the stories, I want people to understand that just a couple of things. The product we're talking about for humans, and you'll probably show that to them, is the Enforce. And the Enforce, this is the most potent strain of it again. And it's important. Strain is important. Obviously there's others that can be acquired. However, the efficacy isn't as strong as this. And it's because of the proprietary way we extract it so that we're getting the full effects of it. A lot of times once it grows out in its full fruited body, it's lost a lot of that, where most manufacturers will get it at that level so that they can manufacture more and make more money. But then they have to take a lot more to see the results. So when people are dealing, or pets are dealing with an issue, if they're healthy, of course, from a person perspective, they take 1 per every 50 pounds. To remain healthy. If they're dealing with an issue that they want to see if this will help with or resolve, then we recommend to double up on it. If it's a severe issue that they want to see if it'll help and resolve, then triple up and see how this affects their immune system and it helps them, overcome that issue. And the same with the pets, and all the products are on there. And so, the super sauce is one of the most powerful things that you can put a pet on. It's got the chondroitin on top of the mushroom in it, the carotene and the glucosamine, which are all natural. They're not synthetic. And if you bought each one separately, you're paying so much to buy those separately. You can look them up. It's all in there and affordable for people to get into their pets. And we just educate people on what's happening in the pet industry, why our pets are experiencing what they're experiencing, and why, all these issues have escalated to where they're at, and our pets are living half as long as they used to.
Even the little things like the never-ending eye infections and ear infections and anal abscesses and allergies, it's all the immune system can actually handle all of that.
Help so many things.
And what's really fascinating in the over 400 studies that have been done over several decades, because it's just a whole food, they found that this mushroom doesn't interact with any medications or treatments. Your pet can't get addicted. They can't overdose. There are no side effects. So it really is, it's a powerful way to support the immune system. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's amazing that you added on there. If you want to share some other things that we've seen, it's crazy what we hear.
It's pretty incredible, because we've gotten to the point where now it's been 6 years that we've been experiencing the benefits of this mushroom and watching what it can do for animals and for people. And it almost is to the point where we're not surprised anymore, because we're like, yeah, that sounds like the immune system. Oh yeah, the immune system can do that. I mean, even I myself, I had a really bad autoimmune disease where I'm 5'9". I was down to 104 pounds. I lost so much weight. I was shaking all the time. I was having seizures. I was passing out. I had developed a gluten intolerance, and my inflammation level in my body, which is supposed to be less than 1, was 522. And I don't really like going to the doctors. So I dealt with this for years until I started having the seizures. And that's when I was like, okay, maybe we should go figure out what this is. So I went to the doctor and they told me what my inflammation levels were. And of course, as in modern medicine, many times it's deductive logic. So they don't tell you what it is. They tell you what it's not until you get to the point of finding out what it is. So I started that course of testing, and right away, I started taking this mushroom. Once I found out what my inflammation levels were, I started taking 6 of the Enforce capsules a day. So I would take 3 in the morning, right when I woke up, and 3 at night, right before I went to bed. And man, after a week, I started feeling my energy levels. Before, I didn't even want to get out of bed. I was so tired and weak. I felt my energy levels going up. I started feeling happier, like my mood was elevated. And after 5.5 months of the testing, I walk into the endocrinologist for that portion. And he's like, I like skipped into the office. He's like, you don't look like you have an autoimmune problem. I was like, I feel great. So he takes my blood, and sure enough, autoimmune marker gone, inflammation levels back below 1. Since then, every lab work that has been done, any scan that has been done on my body, any blood work that's been done has come back in perfect, like literally the center of every range perfectly. I had all types of deficiencies before. I was vitamin D deficient. My thyroid was a little bit off. Like I had all of these different things. And when I found out from the endocrinologist that the autoimmune marker was gone, I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can have gluten again. So that night I ate a big fat quesadilla, and it was the best quesadilla I've ever had, and had zero reaction to it. And so since then, I've had, my diet is perfect. I have had no problems with food, none of that. And that's because, again, this mushroom doesn't stimulate the immune system. People ask us a lot, like, will this help for autoimmune? Because a lot of times they'll try to suppress the immune system when someone has an autoimmune condition. But this mushroom actually modulates it. So it can help a confused immune system. It can help it to find itself and go back to its original like DNA blueprint structure. So it's been helpful for that. We have people that have hip problems in wheelchairs for years that are walking, they're out of their wheelchair. We've had dogs with meniscus tears, and it can repair bone and build bone on its own. So we have dogs that are scheduled for a surgery for a torn meniscus. Maybe it's 2 months out, they start getting this mushroom through the dog super sauce, or they start eating these mush puppies, and they go back in for the pre-op, and they're like, oh, they don't need the surgery anymore. And that person just saved $3,000 to $5,000. Yeah. So, the body's able to do all kinds of things, all the way up to the most life-threatening, catastrophic things that you can think of. And we have, people that get that immune system supported, and a couple months later, they're done a complete turnaround.
Yeah. We have people always ask that question, will it help with this or that? We can't answer that. We don't know. Only your immune system does. Mm-hmm. So if you get your immune system, put things in that can help with it, it's amazing. And stories of the brain fog, like you talked about, COVID fog, things like that people have been dealing with. It's amazing how it's cleared that up, and how much just clear your thinking, and just there's all types of things we say. And when somebody is dealing with an issue that like Cristin did, or others are dealing with, the great thing is, hey, give it a shot for 30 days. Try it out. You've got your blood work. Go see if you're seeing any type of improvement, how your immune system is responding to this mushroom and how it's affecting that. And that's a great gauge for you to try out. And the cost is so affordable that why not try and at least see, what it could possibly do for you. It's been really amazing. There are countless testimonials of pets, and as Josh can tell you, it's been really, really just eye-opening for us.
And we always encourage people, especially if you're getting tested regularly for something, you'll have a before and after, and then the numbers never lie. If my lab work was this before I started taking this mushroom, now this is my lab results now. And so we always encourage people, especially if you're getting tested, keep track of it, document it. It's really cool what we're experiencing. And we, it's our way of kind of pushing back, and kind of saying like, what, we can take our pet's health and our health into our own hands. And every now more than ever, it's just so important that we're being intentional with where we're spending our money and who and what we're supporting. And we want to be supporting pure-hearted providers, like all of the people, all the partners that you have, and all of the people that you introduce people to on your show. We have to be supporting these people and the good work that they're doing, because that's the way that we kind of rise up and reclaim our sovereignty, essentially.
100%. And something you said right now more than ever, even the healthy of us, because of what we have been subjected to, the last at least 3 years, but people could argue longer with that, with lockdowns, and do I do this or not to keep my job? People have been under a lot of stress, and stress is something that is horrible for the immune system. So I even get emails and messages from healthy people that are like, hey man, like, you know, my blood pressure's up, you know, or, you know, it's hypertension, or, you know, healthy people that are still dealing with things that are like, hey, I already exercise, you know, I already eat good, you know, like what else do you suggest? And I say, you know, get some sunlight, but now it's going to be like, hey, try this miracle mushroom, man. Like that's the direction I'm going to send you. And then let me know, like, you know, help me keep tabs on how that feels for you. I want to bring up the website and then talk about this. And then I want to talk about that thing you guys told me about, that one certain tea, because I definitely want to plug that because people will understand. So let me bring this up on the screen so everyone can see. So here's the homepage that you guys have, and I mean, come on, puppy. Great strategy, guys. I like where you're at here, but I want to go. So when you go and you click on shop, you know, for those that go, and links down in the description for those that are running. Alpha, you've been talking about it. Well, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and the links down in the description, so you don't have to write it down. You just got to go and click it. But right here, you have dogs, you have cats, you have horses, and of course, I'm going to go to the human section. And I want to bring up this one on the screen because this is the one that was introduced to me. This is the one that I got. What can you guys tell me about this one? I know you touched on it a little bit, but what more can you say about this?
This is really great. So the green bottle initially is it's called Enforce, and that's the Coriolis versicolor mushroom. This is called Enforce Plus. So it has the same exact amount of Coriolis versicolor mushroom in each tablet. However, we also add a little bit of reishi mushroom, and that is an alkalinizing mushroom that is helpful for regulating blood pressure levels and blood sugar levels and the viscosity of the blood, especially if you live in a major city where there's a lot of 5G and radiation and a lot of stuff being emitted into your bodies. It can thicken the blood, unfortunately. And so, especially if you live in large cities, we recommend this product here because it will not only give you that immune support, but the reishi mushroom will complement it and help give you a more targeted approach to your health.
So let me tell you guys something. The first thing that made me smile, $43.99. I paid more for my pre-workout than this, significantly more. And I'm just like, because when Josh was telling me about it, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get it regardless. This is probably gonna be one of those things that's like $100 or something. And when I saw that, I was just like, that's cheaper than my workout stuff.
I'm glad that you recognize that and you'll notice with all the pet products as well, that's something that's really important to us as a company is to make these products as accessible as we can, especially when people have pets or people are dealing with something that's more life-threatening and every minute matters and every dollar matters. And it doesn't matter if you have the best thing in the entire world that can save and change so many lives. If the average household doesn't have access to it, then you can't really make that big of a social impact. So we have tried to price ours to the best of our ability so that the average people can get hold of it. And even though if you're dealing with something more severe, we recommend getting a few bottles, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 bottles a month. Even if you can't afford that, even if your budget is tight and you can just get 1 bottle and take 1 a day or 2 a day, helping your immune system, even that little bit, is going to do amazing things for you, especially compounded over time. Like you said, it's the little changes that create the big results, that create the big things. So I'm glad that you recognize that because that's something that's important to us.
I did, because one consistent characteristic that I've noticed in companies like yours and people like you guys is you guys sell it way cheaper than what it should be. And because there's the essence of wanting to do the right thing. Of course, we all want to, feed our families, have a roof and live the American dream, but to also not exploit that is a lot to the character of not just you guys, but your company. And that's what's going to keep people sharing the word, because like I said, and whoever wants to know what pre-workout I use, it's awesome. Just let me know and I'll give you that information, but I ain't plugging them because they haven't given me no discount.
I'll tell you a quick story. A real quick one is a good friend of ours that was dealing with a real major issue. We got him on the green bottle, the Enforce, which is the one we've kind of been talking about. And he, after 3 weeks, he called us. He's been in the gym since he was a teenager. And he called us and he goes, "This is crazy. I'm dealing with this major issue in my body right now. I'm in the gym." And he goes, "I'm curling 45s right now. And I've never done that in my life. I'm 54 years old. And I'm blown away by what this product does. And the recovery time that it does for people, the repair, it's amazing." So that I want to bring that up.
Wait, he said it helps his recovery time?
Oh yeah, like crazy.
Your training, especially if you're an athlete or if you're into fitness, watch your repair, your recovery times, your endurance, your stamina, your focus. Everything improves dramatically. Gives you a huge advantage.
I'm very curious to that because in addition to
his issues resolved as well. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
After 58 days.
Yeah.
I am very so that is something that I'm going to monitor for me is the recovery, because I pay extra money for another supplement for the recovery, which is also more expensive than what you guys.
He did a video. He showed us all, because he's been a bodybuilder for pretty much his whole life, and he showed us all this stuff on the island of his house. And he took the video and he went like this and just pushed it all into the trash can and just put the one bottle of the Enforce.
Now again, that doesn't mean that he should not have been taking those other things. We want to clear that up, but that is funny that he did.
It was a funny video.
Well, it's interesting because and this is what I always tell people that ask me, like the workout questions is. One, there's a lot of things out there that they work, but they got things in there that are not healthy for the body. And so the reason my pre-workout and the reason my recovery stuff is so expensive is because the higher quality you go in these things, the more that they charge you. So if you want this effect, but you don't want that poison, you got to pay this. So so I'm really curious how this is going to affect me in the recovery, because if I can save that money, well, then this thing more than pays for itself.
Exactly.
And that is in a lot of cases with people have said they've been able to eliminate some other things as well. So definitely really good.
Very cool. Now there was something you guys mentioned, and I know I got to let you guys go here. That was a certain tea. Where do I go to find that, or do I just type it in the search?
Scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see it's coffee. So the Coriolis Creek coffee, that right there, the Kings Canyon blend. Oh my goodness, the best coffee. And we were coffee snobs before this. So the problem with a lot of the coffees that you get in the store is they're finding a lot of mold in it, mycotoxins, sticks, stones, like all kinds of things that are in the coffee. And so Pet Club 24/7 said, hey, let's provide a better organic coffee with no mycotoxins, sustainable, everything organic, all of that type of stuff. But let's add the immune supporting Coriolis versicolor mushroom to it as well to give them that extra immune support. And it is the most smooth, freshest coffee. It's roasted and ground within the week of you ordering it. There are no molds in it, and it tastes so good. But the best part is that because of the mushroom, it doesn't give you that acidic feeling. We drink a lot of coffee and you know how you get that acidic feeling in your stomach, or you'll sometimes get the jitters. You don't get that with the Coriolis Creek coffee. It's so good. And we just released the Rogue's Wood blend, which is a French dark roast. So especially if you like that more bold flavor, you can get that one. But it is so good. And we tell people all the time, you just have to take our word for it. Of course, everybody says our thing's the best thing. Our thing's the most delicious thing. Like that's what you're supposed to say when you're offering something, but it really is. So we tell people, just try it. You'll get hooked to it like we are. It's so good. And they're decaf. I stopped drinking caffeine, and their decaf, we use a CO2 process. So there are absolutely no chemicals, nothing artificial, nothing synthetic in it at all. It's the healthiest decaf that you can get.
So this is wild, you guys, because back to the pre-workout, one of the reasons that I have to spend a lot of money on pre-workout is because I do have a caffeine sensitivity. So, I have to make sure it's a workout that has these great things, but a low, caffeine, because that's what a lot of pre-workouts do. They just increase the caffeine. So you feel something, but you're not really feeling something that's good for you. But I'm also a huge coffee person. So my little corner of the kitchen, the only part that, is, dad's is my little coffee corner, right?
It's a coffee corner.
It is. It's my little coffee corner. I will send you guys a picture of it.
I love it.
If I'm taking like the green bottle, the yellow bottle, like you guys said, there's no concern of overdosing. I could still do the coffee and I'm still good.
The more, the better. I mean, we even have little chocolate chip cookies, and we have little gummies for kids that have the Coriolis versicolor mushroom in it. And we eat those. Like when we're craving a candy or something, instead of taking candy, we'll just eat one of the gummies and it gets that craving. And it's 100% natural. You look at these kids' gummies on the market and it blows me away. I see these vitamin gummies and the first ingredient's corn syrup and cornstarch and red, artificial dyes and natural flavors, artificial flavors and stuff in it. And this is 100% natural. So it's really good stuff. Those cookies are amazing. And it actually has the sea salt in it for the extra minerals. We added
no way.
sea salt in it to get the extra minerals in it. Yeah.
All our products are healthy, man. We're the healthiest we can get them for the particular situation, but we really strive in our dog food, our pet foods, our treats that there are none of the ingredients that have been affecting, the systems. It's amazing.
Fillers.
So it goes to what's important to you, Alpha, is making sure that we don't do those things.
This is so awesome, you guys. I really do think you should change the name to Alpha T.
We actually have what is great you bring that up, because we obviously are helping people with their own economies, that if you want to join with us and be a voice, and join in your team, we actually have a group we call the Alpha Team, which is
it's like fun. Our elite operators, like our special forces.
It's really great. So
but it's really important, and this is something that weighs very heavily on our hearts, is we have to redirect the spending that's already happening and redistribute the resources and get them into good people's hands, because that's their biggest fear, is an army of good people with resources rising up and pushing back and creating a new system and a new way of doing things that are beneficial for the people and beneficial for all of us. That's our heart, is like, hey, let's do what we can. Let's redistribute these resources. Let's help good people put families in more positive situations,
Yeah. Like you said, reclaiming our sovereignty. And, the more we get to pull out of their economy and build our own economies within each other, I mean, that's where it's at. Why do
And sorry to interrupt, but every dollar has double the impact, because every time you spend your money, every dollar you spend with a pure-hearted provider is a dollar you're taking away from them. So at every dollar gets double the impact when we're intentional with that.
And I tell people, you don't need pitchforks and flame torches. The power of the wallet is what they fear.
Yep.
And why do you think one of the most powerful entities that exists is lobbyists?
Yeah.
Well, politicians. Well, somebody made the joke. Well, if politicians wore NASCAR jackets, you would see who are really the ones with all the power, and it's those freaking lobbyists. Yeah, you would see all that crazy stuff. Kurt, Cristin, you guys have been awesome. One more time with the website, and you guys, links down in the description. As you go and change your life, you help Alpha out too, and you help them build a bigger masterpiece of what they've already proven. So please, you guys, I'll give you the final word.
Well, I'm going to say this, Alpha. Just listening to you, I mean, I love who you are, what you're about. You can just feel it from you, and we're so thankful that there's people like you that are out there speaking for people like us. And I think that's been our biggest issue. Not enough people have stepped up and are willing to put themselves out there. And there's a lot that you have to deal with because of that. I know there is. And so thank you for doing that, man. I just can't even tell you how much we appreciate it, and appreciate you giving us a chance to share what we do as well.
Using your platform for good.
No, absolutely, guys. And I appreciate that. I love people, and there's a lot of things out there that have made people's lives unbearable.
Yeah.
And to know that they don't even realize that something so simple can change their life. And, I did mention, here will be my final thought, the horrible emails that I have to hear. But there's also the great emails when someone either went to someone or bought something or tried something, did a little subtle change, and you get to hear the ripple effect in their life of that. And then the cool thing is, they're going to share that with someone else who's going to share it with someone else. And it's the way you combat the darkness. It's the way we combat evil that's out there. And you guys are one of the ones that are at the front of that. So you guys, better get the bottle. Better get it before everybody finds out about it and these guys sell out, and then they have to go build a new factory to handle the requests coming in. You guys, it's been great. Stick around. We went commercial free in this portion of the show, and I will see you guys in just a minute.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale, and here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Absolutely free. My Pillow, my store, promo code Alpha. I've been wanting to use this, and now that we got the show, I can do it and not turn it around, because then you guys have my address. And as much as I love you guys, there's some crazy out there, so I ain't trying to give you guys I ain't trying to make sure the crazies can get my address. But let's pull this out so you guys can see. That way you guys know I ain't driving. So here we go. There you go. So it's not so blurry. Got the green screen on, so that's why you're seeing some of the things. I am stoked for this. Even with the offline conversation that I had with Kurt and Cristin, it's just, I am so excited. There's some other things that I'm going to be giving to some people to try this, to bring back some feedback. But one thing I wanted to bring on the screen that I asked them, I was like, oh, now that I see this, let me bring it on to share with you guys. For those of you who are wondering, well, should I get this yellow bottle, the green bottle? What combination should I make? So on any one of the bottles that you click on when you go to the link, if you scroll down, you'll get this chart. So if you do the Enforce, so the green bottle, the immune support, the immune modulation support, and then obviously if you go down the thing, you see which one has which one. There are some great stories that I have already heard, you guys, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. Let me pull that off the screen. You guys, you've seen it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. The link's down in the description. alphawarriorshow.petclub247.com. alphawarriorshow.petclub247.com. Links down in the description. I suggest we do this, and it's a game changer, guys. And here's the thing I really would ask for you guys is, for those that do start using this, either email me, thealphawarriorshow@protonmail.com, or DM me if you fight in the trenches with me on X. I want to hear your story. What combinations you're doing, how many you're doing, immediate effects, energy, clarity. I really want to get feedback from you guys in my audience. So please, you're not bugging. For those of you that order this, just let me know. Let me know when you start, and I want to help keep track of your results. With that, you guys, this has been the Alpha Warrior Show. First in, last out. I'll catch you guys next time. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And there's a new day with the new show coming. Stick around, and you guys will hear about it. God bless. Till next time.
Welcome to the next generation of warfare, psychological warfare. In modern conflict, the mind is a potent weapon. Discover General Michael T. Flynn's groundbreaking guide, The Citizen's Guide to Fifth Generation Warfare. Unlock tactics, strategies, and the mindset to navigate this cognitive battlefield that we all find ourselves in. Equip yourself against manipulation and emerge unscathed. Unleash your potential. Order now.